Welcome, guys, to another video. And in today's kind of episode, what I wanted to share with you is honestly like why I actually started believing in God and kind of crazy situation that happened to me that really, in my belief, confirmed that, God and I would call it like everything about it made it so real for me. And that's what I want to focus on, just the story of how I started really following the word of God and everything about it pretty much. So I'm really excited to tell you more about it. So to be transparent, I have not done the preparation as I kind of was sharing in the previous video for this episode, but I will do my best to kind of walk you through in a very raw and honest way what has been happening. And so, as I mentioned, this is a story about how I started believing in God. And as I kind of opened up a little bit in the previous video, where like I struggle with my beliefs, a way to the religion, and just overall my journey has been nothing but a kind of craziness in the past few months, and there has been a lot of situation that have been occurring and happening in like day-to-day life at work. It has been a lot of struggles and up and downs in terms of just like not knowing what to do. um, that kind of got resolved since I turned again to God, and not just in a way that I'll be like, well, why you not see anything, what's happening to me, why don't you help me, but really more about following the word of God, doing better things, helping the other person and people, and doing more good without expecting something in return, but just doing it out of that it is the right thing to do. So things kind of at work calm down, and it has been a crazy actually improvement. um, But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about my struggles in life that led me to addiction, um, and struggling with addiction and struggling with pure pain that I have not faced, that I would deal through substance abuse. And basically, anytime there was a stress or some situation or just anything that would literally trigger everything, would go to the substance and literally just destroy myself, numbing myself, getting like the ideas and thoughts and thinking that this is the way to do it and this is the way to heal myself and everything. But you just would not notice. So I struggled with it for several years and I'm still struggling with it. But since I've been on reconnecting with God and reading the Bible, putting myself in good but uncomfortable situations, and going to the gym, really sticking to like a strict schedule, not skipping gym, facing problems heads on, and not going to, okay, I had this stress, I come home, substance, this and that, and go to the next day basically, and do this cycle over and over again. And that's where you realize like you have addiction problems and you're really not uh, you know dealing with problems honestly, and you're just avoiding it and try to hide from it and not feeling it. And that's one of my points, is the feeling that you have to feel the pain and the struggles and whatever is inside. You have to come to the kind of realm of feeling and really, now when I'm thinking about it, it's when I came to God and I asked for forgiveness and for guidance and for wisdom and for strength and for everything good that can help you and helped me to face it. I don't know how it happened, but things then became much easier to really face and overcome and understand better. And in my instance, a lot of aggression kind of calmed down, not suppressing it and building it up, but more being in control and understandable where it's coming from. And actually, I became very much peaceful because before that, and many times before, I would have aggression compulses that would take over instead of some rationality and honest thinking before I make steps. I would act upon that. And talking to God and doing prayers actually helped a lot. And there was a moment, and that's where I actually really started believing that, there is God. I'm not talking about like what it is, what it means exactly, but the moment where I really believed that He exists. And I was praying for someone very much closer to me that would get the proper help, would get better. And because we've been on this similar journey and together, really struggling through lives, it also directly helped me. And obviously, when you have substance abuses, whether it's whatever substance you're using, um, you basically like finding ways how to get it. And in my instance, I had a really close friend that we would do things together, and every time he would help me out, you know. And I was praying for to get better and for to really find a way for me and everyone involved in this, to get better, to find a healthier way to see, light at the end of the tunnel and really heal through whatever the pain would be. And I don't want to share this, even though like I'm all about honesty, but there would be a situation that would stop this source of the substances to be in the life. And it's not putting it at fault for someone who would be a great person, kind person and everything, but hurt as well. And thing literally would turn in such a positive approach instead of struggling like, oh my god, what am I gonna do in this, and now it's gone, I don't have access to it, what am I gonna do. It literally destroyed such a burden, and instead of feeling what am I gonna do, I felt relief. And in the moment where I found out about this, I was like immediate pretty much shock because I've been praying for it, and sometimes when you think about it, like, life doesn't happen in the way that we construct in our minds, that like, oh, it should happen this way or that way. It doesn't really matter. If you look and believe, it happens, and it happens exactly in the way you need for yourself. And in that moment, I realized I was praying for this. I was not praying for the way it should happen, but I was praying for healing. I was praying for forgiveness. I was praying for kindness. I prayed for strength. And all this I received. I found strength in it. I found relief in it. I found hope in it. I found connection to God through it. Everything came in that moment to me, and I felt Him. And it's so hard to talk about it. And I still, try to take it in, because it's such a heavy moment. And even before that and after, even in a short time of since it happened, everything, so much have happened, like in a positive way. Nothing's perfect, but the strength and power that I felt through it has been very much nothing but God's I guess presence would be the right word. So yeah, nothing from that. Everything's just gonna change and go in very much whatever direction it is. And I also since then reached out to a group of like-minded people in the group of Christianity that I found on Instagram here. And I went to the first session, and it was very much like finding my own people. Instead of living in my own bubble, in my own world through self-destruction and everything, I'm finding positive ways in how to actually build life from zero, and from literally pain and suffering and just distraction. And I'm finding a new way of life through more compassion, more forgiveness, more love, more kindness, more hope. Pretty much everything that you probably can find in the Bible and all the readings and everything. It's just amazing. It really is absolutely amazing. So yeah, this is something I wanted to share with you. I'm gonna end the video here, because I shared everything I wanted to share in terms of how I found a way to prove for myself that God is real and what I believe in. That's my story. And for whoever's watching, I'm also interested in if you found your way to God, and or if you're on your way to maybe find God, or if you're not. I still would like to hear maybe your story of what happened to you and your encounter with your own spiritual journey, or any thoughts if you have. I would be happy to always read in the comments. If you like this video, of course, the YouTube thing, give it a like. I don't really care. Honestly, it helps, but who gives a damn? If you enjoy the video, support the channel. If you don't like it, I hope you still be watching and maybe find a way to connect in whatever way. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.